Titans Global. Let's go. Started with a vision, two voices in the mix. Max and Link together, building something that'll stick. Every episode we drop, yeah, we're reaching new heights. Titans Global on the map, burning bright every night. From the first recording session to the fans that tune in, we've been grinding every day, yeah, we're destined to win. Titans Global, that's the name, that's the brand, we the fans. Speaking truth through the microphone, messages that we send. Titans Global, that's the movement. Titans Global, feel the power. Titans Global, we keep pushing. Titans Global, this our hour. Titans Global, Max and Link. Titans stronger than you think. Titans Global, that's the way. Titans Global, every single day.
What's up, Titans fans? This is Maximus Titan fan here, Titans Global Podcast. I am your host. I messed that all up, but it's all good because, I think we're just all a little bit overexcited because football season started tonight. But what's up, Link? How you doing tonight, brother?
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it. A first actual pregame show. I've got football on in the background. College football is well and alive. I'm feeling good, and I hope y'all are too. But hit us with a like, subscribe, share, comment. Definitely want to know what you guys think. We want predictions. We want not just score predictions, full season record predictions. We actually have football back in our lives, and I could not be more excited. So let's roll right the hell into it.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. And, we'll try to do this like, just a regular pre-show. Again, this is our first one, so, bear with us. But Titans versus Denver, man, what a tall task. Going to Denver in this early in the season. Everybody knows Denver's rough this early in the season. Go through the normal crap. Denver is favored by 8.5 points, depending on where you look. It's 8 to 8.5 points, I guess, depending on where you look. But and we're scheduled on Fox. Everybody's going to be cast on Fox. Second game of the day, so we'll be at 3:05 Central, 4:05 Eastern. I don't know. Just a rough game. I'll be honest with you. It's not an easy start for the Titans.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, you travel the first game, which again, I mean, I've kind of preached on this. I think Callahan was really good on that kind of road stretch in the preseason, getting him ready for just not being at home, being kind of uncomfortable on the road. But yeah, you're traveling to Denver. I mean, obviously everybody talks about the altitude. You've got to be in shape. And we've had a lot of guys who have not been participants or at least full participants for some of this training camp, names that you don't really want to be in that position with, i.e. L'Jarius Sneed, T'Vondre Sweat, who, everybody was kind of worried about his condition last year, turned out not to be a problem, but you've got to have that threefold going to Denver and playing in the altitude because that is a real thing. And on top of that, look, let's be honest, this is a defense that probably finishes top 5 by the end of the season. Like, I don't think that's unprecedented. This is a team who returns, I think it's 6 guys with 5 or more sacks. So, yeah, I mean, you're going against a proven veteran defense. Benito just got his big contract extension, now the top paid non-quarterback in Broncos history. So, yeah, like you said, it's a tall task. I don't know. What's game plan for you in this? Is it quick stuff? Is it getting Cam comfortable early? Is it run game? Like, where do you start kind of taking this one bite at a time?
I'll be honest with you. It's got to be quick throws to the outside, maybe a rollout with a pitch. I mean, you got to get on the outside. You got to get away from those front 7 because that's Denver's really strong point is their front 7.
Bread and butter. Yeah,
they are mean, bro. I mean, they're probably the best. I mean, it shows. I mean, if you look at the stats, last year they had 63 sacks as a unit. That's first in the NFL. They had 195 pressures. That's also first in the NFL. Their pressure rate was 27.7% per snap, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that is an insane amount of pressure on a quarterback, and it's getting home a lot. That's the main point right there. It's pressure, and it's pressure that's getting home. What's up, Larry? So I don't know. It's gonna be. It's like I said. It's gonna be a tall task, but I think mostly you want to attack the outside or perimeter, spread that defensive out, and then attack up the middle and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be a really tough task for the guys going at home in Denver.
Yeah, well, and I say for me too. I mean, we're sitting here talking about the front seven. I mean, this is maybe one of the best back ends in football too. I mean, you've got a guy who's going to come in trying to lock down Calvin Ridley. Like that's going to be their objective with Surtain. And I mean, that's going to present other guys with an opportunity to step up, which is what we've been talking about all training camp. Like, who's going to be that dude? But somebody's got to be that dude, whoever it is. And I'm looking at AO Manor. Like this is his opportunity to have kind of that initial rookie breakout game, which is crazy to think about. But that's what you brought him in for. Like you need him to be that X factor week one immediately. Because again, we talk about this front seven, the back end's pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think for me, I like that you said outside the numbers. I think Cam, in the little sample size we had of preseason, he looked comfortable throwing to the sideline outside the numbers. Seems like his timing's a lot better than what we've been used to here in Nashville. So I do agree with that. And then I've also seen him those kind of over the middle, that 15 to 20 yards. If you're going to hit a big play, I think that's where it's going to be, kind of that post action from the receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe a tight end. I mean, I think this is, again, we talk about AO Manor. I think Gunnar Helm has an opportunity to really stand out in this first game too, because you're going to have so much pressure focused on Calvin Ridley. I feel like Denver's one of those teams who say, we're going to make somebody else beat us. And you're going to have to prove that before we really devote a lot of pressure to that guy. So Gunnar Helm, AO Manor, like I said, outside the numbers, kind of those post routes up the middle. And then Pollard, where are we at with him? Can he come in? Can he get going early? Can the offensive line kind of do their job and hold up? Because I feel like at least in that first quarter, we're going to see a lot of run-heavy offense. But can you keep moving the sticks? Can you give Cam an opportunity when he gets to those midfield situations to hit a big play?
Yeah, and I agree with that. But honestly, I don't really worry about Pollard. We know what we have in Pollard. He is a pretty solid, consistent football player. His numbers are extremely consistent. I think he had like a 4.2 average last season, which is pretty damn good in the NFL. So I'm pretty happy with him. The one that a lot of Titans fans don't know about is Chestnut, and he's going to show up big in this game. I think he's going to be called upon to, use, and his pass protection, the fact that he is a check down option, I think all that kind of comes into play. Like you said, I think Gunnar Helm has a big chance to make a name for himself. I think Chig has a chance to step up really big in this game, prove us wrong. You know what I mean? I don't know if you watch The Office, but there's a huge scene where the guy, makes up a list of winners and losers, and everybody finds out about it and freaks out. And I love it because for me, it's one of the best speeches of all time. But the guy gets up and he says, "Look, man, yeah, it's exactly the way you see it. I made a list, winners, losers. Winners prove me right. Losers prove me wrong. There you go."
Yep.
And I thought it was, to me, that would motivate me. I don't know about most people. Maybe they wouldn't get off on the negative part of that, but whatever. When you're looking at the teams as a whole, though, I think Denver was ranked 9th by the NFL.com, and the Titans were ranked like 26th or something like that on NFL.com. You look at a couple other places. I tried to average everything out by what people were saying. So the average of Denver is ranked 14th. The average of Tennessee is ranked 30th, believe that or not. So with only the Browns or Saints being worse than us. So I do think that we are going to do better than we are projected to do.
Hey, nowhere to go but up.
But yeah, I was going to say this is a pretty good game for me. A lot of people are looking at it like it's a bad game or a tough game, which it is a tough game, but I think it's a very good game for a young team to kind of, because if we lose horribly, it's okay. That's what they expect. They expect us to be the third worst team in the NFL. So
Yeah,
if
but
we
you got to be
lose and it looks
competitive.
bad, oh no, I understand and I agree as a Titan fan. I want to see good
Yeah.
stuff, but I'm just saying that is what they expect to see. So anything above that is a plus. So even if we
Yeah.
lose the game, but we still look good, or at least look like a cohesive unit, unlike we
Yeah.
did last year, or our quarterback isn't panicking and throwing the ball, running straight into freaking sacks and all that crap. If we can show that in this first game, whether we win or lose, I will be happy. And
Yeah.
that is my point. I think that is the thick of my point at the base of this.
Well, and I'll kind of build off that because I think you've got to show progress in some way. And I mean, do I think this is going to be just a knock it out of the park season for the Titans? No. But I want to see some of the things that you did well in preseason. I mean, look, this was one of the least penalized teams. I think the most or the least amount of penalties during the preseason. So just the operational stuff. And look, this isn't just about Cam Ward and the rookies that you brought in. Like, this is about the coaching staff. Like, we still have a lot we need to figure out, from a top down standpoint of this organization. So even if you get that part right, just look competitive, look like you know what you're doing. Don't have the pre-snap penalties where you're putting yourselves in bad situations. Show me that the stuff you did in the preseason that was good can actually carry over, because we were saying the same thing last year. Like, Levis looked pretty good in the preseason. You felt like your offensive line was sorted out. You have Callahan. We saw a lot of this stuff, but it didn't translate when you got to the regular season. So can you fix those little things? Can you fix those mistakes? Can you show me that you can develop a quarterback? Can I see a better version of Cam Ward in week 5 or 6 than I'm going to see on Sunday? Because that's your goal. Like, you may not get, you're not going to get a breakout star. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe he's that generational guy who just comes in and take over. But if you look at history, I mean, Peyton Manning didn't come out that way. Tom Brady didn't really come out. Like, you have to build that over time. Even Patrick Mahomes, like, he was good, but he's not the finished product that we see today. So just over the course of these first few weeks, can I see minor improvements? Even if it's not translating to the scoreboard, even if it's not in the win column, can you get those little wins as a team that give me hope going into week 12, week 13?
Yeah, and I think that's a huge part of it. As far as the matchup goes between the Titans and Denver, I think our teams actually match up pretty evenly in a lot of different categories. Quarterbacks are young, Bo Nix is all right. Cam Ward's unproven, so we don't know yet, but I think he's at least as good or maybe a little bit less. I don't know where Bo Nix is at right now. He's the second year. We're going to either see a second year slump or a second year rise, or maybe he stays the same. I don't know. He played college for like 8 years, so who knows what Bo Nix is going to do in his second year in the NFL. But J.K. Dobbins, I mentioned, I think Tony Pollard had a 4.2. J.K. Dobbins, I think, lands somewhere around 4.5 or 4.6 average per yards. Cameron Sutton, I had to actually look this up because I didn't know that much about Cameron Sutton, even though he's a UT guy. But whatever.
Cortland
Anyway,
Sutton. Cortland
Portland.
Sutton.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Cameron, Portland, whatever. Clearly, I've been watching too much UT ball. Anyway, 135 targets last season, which is a ridiculous number. I mean, it really is, but it only really amounted to 1,081 yards and a 13.3 average. When you look at Calvin Ridley's numbers, he had 64 targets, which is actually less than half of what Sutton had, and 1,017 yards and a 15.9 average. So overall, the more explosive player is clearly Calvin Ridley. So I'm interested to see how that goes. As far as the other wide receivers go, man, I really hate that they have Troy Franklin because that's one of the ones I wanted last year, but never, the joke of what we had last year of them laughing at us while they didn't take a wide receiver, sons of bitches. But anyway, he did not produce a whole lot in his season, but he did have a really high average. And Marvin Mims, I think, also had a
Mhm.
really nice average too. Had some pretty decent numbers. We've got Ailmanor and Lockett on the outside. So, like I said, I think our numbers match up pretty evenly. Uh, I don't know how Ailmanor's going to do, but anyway, my point is I think we match up pretty evenly on the offense.
Yeah, that's a fair
Defense,
take.
however, I think we do not match up well.
Yeah, and I'll let you go through that, but just to touch on offense, I mean, I think you got a good point there. The one weapon that's there now that scares me is, of course, J.K. Dobbins. I mean, everybody talks about, well, he can't make it a full season. He's not going to stay healthy. Well, guess what? He's healthy week 1. Like, you're going to
Yeah,
get the
the
best
best
version
version.
of J.K. Dobbins that anybody's going to see all year. So I think that's the one kind of separating factor. So to me, it's really going to come down. And like I said, I'm going to let you touch on defense, but just to kind of segue into it, like it's really going to come down to how effective Sweat and Simmons can be in the middle. And can you generate some pressure on the outside, which I don't know how, but can you somehow generate some pressure on the outside in those play actions where Bo Nix doesn't have that time to look downfield? But yeah, get right into the defense because this one to me is pretty interesting.
Okay, I do actually want to get into like a lot of the defense, but one thing I'm going to tangent on real quick is Trevondre Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Trevondre Sweat, they say that he had an abdominal injury and then he comes back and he's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And people are excited because he's lost a lot of weight. But when you dig a little further into what that abdominal injury was, he actually got his gallbladder removed, which is something that I went through personally myself. And I can tell you that you naturally lose a lot of weight, and it's something that's kind of hard to come back from, especially if you're really physical with what you're doing because your core is injured. And they have to cut through the muscles straight in your solar plexus, which is one of the main things. I don't know. As a mechanic and a very small dude, I use my core a lot. So, I'm just saying if he has a little bit of a sophomore slump in the first quarter of the season, I can kind of understand as someone who went through what he's already went through and trying to come back and play football on top of that at a professional level seems insane to me. But these guys are paid a lot of money. They're expected to be top pro athletes. So, we'll see on that. However, I did touch on the fact that Denver was freakishly great on the front seven.
Yeah.
Their pressure rate, like I said, they had 195 pressures and 27.7% pressure rate per snap. By the way, that's how that metric works. The Titans defense, however, ended with 32 sacks, which is almost exactly half what Denver had. And their pressure rate was actually 39.9. So do that in your brain there for a second. We had a higher pressure rate than Denver, but we had half the sacks they did.
Yeah.
And what that tells me is we got to get home.
Yeah.
We're getting the pressure. We're getting in their face, but we've got to get home. So somebody's got to get home. And like you said, I don't understand how we're going to get that outside pressure because we're running with Arden Key, who had, I think, 6.5 sacks last season, and Femi, who has maybe 12 games as an outside linebacker.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an insanely tall task for the Titans to match up the blitz magic that Denver has with the front seven. Now, I do believe that the linebackers are going to come into a big role in this, and I think they're going to be the ones who really get us most of our pressure, along with a couple of the defensive backs. But go for it.
Yeah, no, I think you said it perfectly, and that stat completely says it all. I mean, you were able to get in their face last year, but not get home. You have to get, even if you have less of a pressure rate, you have to find a way to get home. And I did not think this is the last time I'm going to mention this, but I was so worried about that middle linebacker position going into this offseason. Like, where do we go? How do we fix that? Even after the draft, it's like, okay, where do we go? Who's going to step up? Who's going to be the guy? I never thought in a million years that I would be sitting here before the first game of the regular season saying that Arden Key is going to be the best pass rusher I have. Like that's terrifying. Like you just always thought at some point they were going to pick somebody
We're gonna
up.
get somebody.
It's going to be a trade. Like you're going to get somebody. So that gives me absolute chills that we're sitting here with. And again, nothing against Femi. It's just going to take him time. And that's the luxury that you don't really have on this defense right now, because unless somebody gets hurt in the secondary, that's obviously your weakest position. So to throw him out there and I hope that he's able to step up, and pressure makes diamonds. And I hope that's what we see. But you're asking a lot out of that kid very early in his season, very early, in the season. So we'll see what happens. But I do like what you said that, maybe somebody, Cedric Gray, James Williams, maybe somebody from the interior can kind of step up and they can scheme some things up. I do think this defense has an opportunity to grow. I just don't know how early you see that. I think they're going to struggle in these first 2 to 3 games.
Well, that is one of the things that excites me about Denard Wilson, is that he seems to be able to create pressure and blitzes from all places.
Yes.
And I hate to compare him to him because he had kind of a shady NFL career, but he was a great defensive coordinator. One of the guys I like to compare him to is Greg Williams, because he was another one that pulled blitzes from everywhere. I mean, he would put his number one corner on a blitz, which is insane, but it would work. I mean, and it would work very often, actually.
It works when they get home, because we saw that last year. We saw pressure coming from the corners, from the safety, but that was the issue, is by the time they were in the backfield trying to make a tackle, the quarterbacks moved the pocket. So I agree. I do like the way he schemes pressure, but again, you've got to get home with it, because I'm not looking at the numbers, but I would dare to say if you looked at those pressure numbers, a lot of those pressures was coming from the secondary, more than you would think on average, at least. So I'm with you. Just get home. Find a way to get him on the ground.
I think I think he had 10.5 sacks, Landry. I think he had it was either 10.5 sacks or just 10. I can't remember. But as crappy as those numbers are, especially for the money he was making, that's going to hurt. Those 10 sacks are going to be missed. That pressure is going to be missed.
Yep.
Can Femi replicate something that is similar to that? I'll say this. If you want to know who is number one last year for sacks that we still have on the team, it's Arden Key at 6.5. You wanted to know who number 2 is? It's Big Jeff with 5, which is great that our interior defensive lineman has 5 sacks, but it's not great that
not great that he's that high up on the list.
Well, that 5 sacks is number 2 is not a good sign. So and they, let's see, Nick Benito, I think is how you say his name. Dude just signed a huge contract today. 13.5 sacks in 24. Jonathan Cooper had 10.5 sacks in 24. Zach Allen had 8.5 sacks in 24. All 3 of these guys are going to be on the other side of the ball.
Yep.
A lot. 75% of the snaps, probably. So the Titans, the offensive line has a massive goal as well. I mean, this is a really good test to see how good our offensive line is, because I think if I'm right, Cam Ward was only sacked 1 time in the entire preseason. Out of the 29 or 30 snaps that he took, he was sacked once.
Mm-hmm.
If those numbers are translated into the game, let's say he takes 30 to 35 snaps a game, and he's only sacked once in the game, I'm happy with that performance from the offensive line. As long as he's not running around. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, to that point, though, you weren't really facing a lot of exotic blitzes like you're going to – it's preseason. Everything's very simple. What concerns me, because I do think it's good that Cam's able to move the pocket. I think that's really going to help him in this game. What scares me is you've got a young quarterback, and he's improved everywhere he's been, but he's going to see some blitz packages on Sunday that he's probably never seen before.
Yep.
Can he do what he did in college and adapt and adjust and still make a play? Because I think that's what he was brought in to do. Now, yes, I want to see the offensive line block. I want to see, but they're going to be in the backfield. At some point, Denver is going to get in the backfield. How does Cam handle that pressure is going to be a big tell of how this game goes.
I agree with that. I think a lot of it lies on Cam's shoulders, and I'm more interested to see this game simply because I'm interested to see how he handles the pressure.
Yeah.
So the last thing I want to talk about on the defensive side of things is the defensive backs. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Surtain, Riley Moss, pretty damn good tandem on the back end. They do a lot of man coverage on the backside of blitzes, so we're going to be facing a lot of man coverage. So we got to have somebody like Ailman or somebody like that can step up and get open, because they are going to be in man a lot, especially against Cam. I think that's a given, especially early in the game. Titans defense, Snead, good to go apparently on the injury report. Didn't really talk about the injury report.
Honestly, who the hell knows?
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll find out Sunday.
Maybe.
When we turn the TV on to see if he's there, whatever.
Yep.
Brownlee, McCreary, and if Snead doesn't go, I made a little note down here, Baker. That tells you how bad the situation is that I'm still, even with them telling me that Snead is good to go, everything's fine, his knee is good, I'm still like, I'll believe it when I see it.
And that's the thing for me, because look, if you take away Surtain, I could kind of compare these two back ends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have a pretty decent secondary. Can they stay healthy? Like, that's what it's going to come down to, because that's it. If one of these guys go down, including Snead, it can get really ugly really quick. Not saying they can't do it, but you're asking young guys to step up, or you're asking vets who maybe aren't that good to step up. So if this secondary can stay healthy, I have all the faith in the world in them. 100%, absolutely. Let's ride. You just don't have that depth right now. So we'll see how that goes. But a point you said that I wanted to bring back up. So I think they played the most man last year out of anybody in the NFL.
Yep.
So obviously you're going to have Surtain on Ridley. I mean, that's a given. And I think even if you're moving Ridley around like they talked about, he's going to stick with him. I mean, that's going to be a matchup all game long. Who in your mind? Is it A.O. Manor? Is it Lockett? Who are you looking to have that immediate impact early? I mean, I think you give A.O. Manor the first opportunity, but let's say that doesn't work out. Who are you going to next?
Yeah, it's got to be A.O. Manor, like you said, given that first opportunity. I might even give him the first couple opportunities just to make sure that the first one wasn't a fluke. But yeah, if something's not producing there a little deeper into the game, we'll say first quarter, had 3 drives, and we tried A.O. Manor 3 or 4 times and he's just not got it, then I would throw DK out there and see what he's got. Just straight speed. I'd be like, make one cut, move, get upfield, give him a target, give Cam a target, and just try to kill him with speed between him and Ridley. That is exactly where I would go with it. But I don't know that that's really. It's rough. It's a rough answer. Yeah. But I also say, man, I'll be honest with you, dude. I really have a lot of faith in Gunnar Helm. I think he is going to be. I think he is going to be a really good tight end receiving. He's a hell of a blocker already from everything I'm hearing. So I think Gunnar Helm is really going to come on really strong early in the season. And I think the consistency of his game is going to speak volumes. And I think that's why he's going to probably take Chig's job.
Yeah. I actually 100% agree with that. I really do. Like, I love what I see in Gunnar Helm. And I feel like this is going to be a homegrown guy that we're looking back in 5, 6 years and saying, man, that was a steal. Like, this
Yes.
dude could have gone second round or like early second round. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I do think it's an early impact. If that's, I mean, maybe even more than Cam. Like, that's my biggest bright spot right now. Because if you can sure up that tight end position, it's going to help Cam so much. You know what I'm saying? If you can give him that other guy who can be the pass catcher, the run blocker, that 3 down tight end, like we just haven't had that in so long. So yeah, I'm with you. I think he needs to show out early. I do think he gets the bulk of the snaps over Chig. I mean, I think that he's kind of your go-to out of the gate, and then you see what happens. Kind of like A.O. Manor's your go-to at number 2 out of the gate. And then, yeah, it comes down to, look, do we want to go with a proven guy like Van Jefferson, or do we just want to see what we have in these young dudes? And right now I'm of the mind, like, it's early. It's, we need these dudes to step up quick. I'm just testing out the young dudes. Like, if A.O. Manor's not working, go straight to DK. I'm kind of with you on that too.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. If I don't know, it depends. I guess I would probably put DK and Bryce Oliver out there. I'm not gonna lie and act like Bryce Oliver didn't actually earn him some playing time this
That's
year,
fair.
and
Yeah.
not just on special teams. Man, the guy's earned the right to be number 4, and if needed, number 1, number 2 ain't doing. You know what I mean? Get him
Yeah.
out there. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they do a 4 wide receiver formation and DK isn't the one out there, but Bryce Oliver is. I wouldn't be surprised by that either.
Okay.
Um, so, but yeah, think of some more topics, people. Get in the comments. Right now, we're going to go to a commercial break, and then we'll come back with Scoob Scoop. So stick around. We're coming back.
What's up, Titans fans? Maximus Titan fan here. Are you in need of professional excavation services? Look no further. Red Zone Builders has the expertise, experience, and equipment to handle all or any excavation project, big or small. Whether you need land clearing, site preparation, trenching, foundation excavation, or any other excavation services, they have you covered. Their team of skilled professionals will work diligently to ensure your project is completed safely, efficiently, and to your satisfaction. Trust the experts at Red Zone Builders to get the job done right.
Hey everybody, Max, Link, Titans fans, how's it going tonight? So Tuesday went to the block party and finally got to see Blaine Bishop, and I got him to sign my print. If y'all see right there, that I had Titan Oiler James printed up for me, and I gave him the same copy. So that was really fun, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of the fan of the year stuff today. Our first winner of Fan of the Year was Brandon, and I believe I believe he was also NFL Fan of the Year. So that was pretty cool. And then we had Stephanie. She won Fan of the Year, and she started the Ladies Titans of Twitter group and a couple other things, and won Fan of the Year. And then we got the fan favorite Spider Titan Jonathan. He won Fan of the Year. Did a lot of stuff, cool stuff for the kids, and he's a big guy around the stadium. Everybody loves Spider Titan. And then after that, Mr. Chili Pepper won, and he's probably the most famous Titans fan we have. And to be at the stature of Chili would be pretty cool. That's what I'm working towards. Chili is my mountain that I'm trying to climb. I love to have the fandom that Chili has. It's pretty awesome seeing that. And then last year, Titan Man Adam, real big with the Two Tone Blue Nation, and a huge Titans fan also. Uh, all very deserving people to win Fan of the Year, and all very huge Titans fans, and they all set a very high bar as a Titans fan, and that's stuff that I like to work towards. So this year, there's so many great people running for Fan of the Year, and if you do decide to choose me for Fan of the Year, I would really appreciate that. And it would be pretty cool. So just check out my webpage or anything on Facebook, Twitter. I have it posted everywhere. And so that's about all I have for tonight. Thanks, guys. Tighten up.
What's up, people? Tighten up, Scoob.
There you go,
Tighten
man.
up.
That's a pitch right there. Scoob for fan
Yeah,
of the year,
man.
Scoob for president. Just hit him,
Right.
man. Mayor, all of
Oh.
it. Go
I
for
mean,
it.
man, that's the high bar them guys set, man. They all set a
Hell
very
yeah.
high bar to be a fan of the year.
Hey, so before in our little pre-show, and I'm gonna call him on it because he's already locked in. So if everybody goes
Yeah.
and bets, he's not losing money. So you said you had a bet. You wanna shed the light on everybody, make some people some money?
Yes, I want to. Yes.
Well, I like to try to do one crazy. I don't pick the Titans to win or lose, but I always try to do anytime bets with the Titans, and I always try to do a little crazy bet. So my first bet this year, I did a Cam Ward anytime touchdown. I did a Ridley anytime touchdown and an Isle Manor anytime touchdown. $10 bet
Yes.
pays out $18.50, I think. So
There you go. Scoob said
So-
free money. Here it is.
right. Hey,
Yeah, no, I
all
don't.
it needs a little 1 yard quarterback sneak and
Yeah,
2 passing touchdowns, and it's in there.
fair enough.
I'll be honest
Fair
with you,
enough.
man. My boss is like one of those people that goes to Vegas. He plays poker. He's played the World
Right.
Series of poker a couple times. He actually finished in the like top 25 one year.
Nice.
So he's pretty good at gambling, and he tells me all the time, anytime you have a turnaround like that, where you can pay $10 and possibly win 1,800,
Right.
Yeah,
you're a fool if you don't take the bet.
there you go.
Right.
He's like,
I hear
just
you.
on basic chance, which of
Right.
course now my boss is also, he probably makes somewhere around $1 million a year, maybe even more than
Right.
that. So
If you got it
You
to
know,
play with it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
do-
When you got house money, it's easy to play
Yeah.
with.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly. I keep my bets small too. I try to do 10, 15 bucks a week. Nothing big, nothing fancy.
That's
Heck
right,
yeah.
man. Hey, I like Newsom's idea here. He's kind of a joker, but I think he has actually a pretty good idea. We get Scoob out there on the edge. I think we
Hey.
might actually have.
Hey, I'm ready. I've been working out too. I've been pumping it.
There you go.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
So look, I'll be honest. One last thing, not one last thing, but one of the last things I want to talk about as far as the game goes is some of the players that I'm interested to see in live time. Regular season is so much different from preseason. A lot of the guys, even the rookies, aren't going 100% in preseason. A lot of the time, some of the
Right.
guys are, especially the guys that feel like they're fighting for roster spots. But the guys who feel like they've got their spot locked down, they're not going 100% in preseason games because they don't want to get hurt. You know what I mean? But they're running through the motions because it is important to go through the motions, especially at NFL speed. So there you go. With that, I'm excited to see Elic Aomanor. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. It's Aomanor.
It's
I don't know.
think it's Io Manor, but like, bro, show up the first 2 games, and I promise, whatever it is, I will.
I will
figure it
not
out.
mispronounce your
Hey.
name. Yeah, if
You
you
get his
if
name right now. You get his name right now.
that's what I'm saying. I'm really
That's
excited
why I
to see
can't
him.
trust.
Chimere DK, I'm really excited to see him as a returner position. Him and Bryce Oliver are going to be back on kickoffs. He's the primary punt returner, so I'm excited to see that. And obviously, I'm excited to see the first round draft pick on offense, Cam
The
Ward.
Cam Ward effect. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
man, we're all interested to see what happens. Because I'll be honest with you, it seemed like in every preseason game, he got better as the game went on.
Yeah.
He
That's
got
true.
a little more comfortable, like it seemed like the second drive, every single time, he seemed to have a lot more success than he did the first drive. So I don't know. I'm really excited to see what he does with the whole game under his belt. We'll see, I guess. Who are you guys
Fireworks,
excited
Max.
to see?
Fireworks. That's what we're gonna see.
Yeah, for me, look, I'm I'm on it. I'm on the Cam train. I think it's the right pick. I think he's the dude. I think he's going to be a great player for this organization. I'm tempering my expectations just a little bit for this first one. Again, going back to he's going to see some pretty crazy pressure. Denver is not going to make this easy on him because this front seven is licking their chops right now, saying, "Hey, it's an improved offensive line, but it's a new offensive line." You know, you've got Latham at right now. You've got some new pieces. You've got Cush, who they say he's healthy. You better hope so, because you're going to find out real quick with this Denver defense. So I just think that it's going to be harder for Cam to get comfortable. And that's not to say he can't, because I mean, the dude's composed, he's calm, he's cool, collected. If there's any rookie in the league right now that could handle Denver, I think it's Cam. It's just going to be how well can he do it and how early can he do it, because it's going to be hard to settle in. It's going to be really hard to settle in. So I don't think it's going to be a disaster, but I also don't think it's going to be like a breakout performance either. Like I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, and I'm okay with that, because that's all you want in week one of a rookie year. Like just do the little things right. That's all I want to see, is just doing the little things right.
And I think if the running game gets going, that's going to help out tremendously.
Absolutely, for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, got to have a good running game.
That's going to dictate what happens, I believe, if we get the running game going.
And that's why I said I think they're going to be really run heavy early. Like I think we're going to see a lot of runs early. And granted, you got to move the sticks. If you're 3 and out your first 3 drives because you're running the football, like that ain't what I want to see. Like have that ability to adapt. Because that's what we saw last year. It was 3 and out.
Look,
3
man,
and out,
let's be honest. Let's be honest, though. Cam Ward is not the kind of player, even if he is called, to do a quick out route or something like that. If it's not there immediately, he's looking deep. I mean, he's automatically. We've talked about it. He's a gunslinger. He's got that gunslinger mentality. Yeah. So I think even if he's given a smaller play, I think if it's not there immediately, he's looking deep.
Do you think Callahan pretty much lets him loose? I mean, is it just effort, see what we got? Yeah, I mean, to an extent, yes, because that, I mean, like you said, that's kind of what you have to do. You have to kind of build that trust relationship between yourself and this other kid, who just got here, and you're trying to get him to buy into your way of doing things. And one of the ways of doing that is to kind of give in a little bit to his side.
But
he says, maybe we install this play, or maybe you see how we did this at Miami. Oh yeah, I totally see that, Cam. Even if you don't 100% agree, if it's a somewhat successful play, you go ahead and say, yeah, I agree. Let's put that in the offense.
I think the first 10 or 15 plays are going to be Cam Ward's favorite plays.
Well, they should be. Yeah, I mean, they should be. I mean, look, because I want to see – I'm kind of hoping the Titans receive, just because, like, you've got to get things going early. You've really got to get comfortable early.
And the offense,
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's because that's what they're going to have to do, because your first drive should be your best drive, because that's your scripted plays, the ones you feel most comfortable with. I mean, look at Alabama over the weekend. Their first drive looked perfect. Look at North Carolina. First drive looked perfect, and then they fell apart after that. So can you find that consistency on the first drive and then stick to that game plan the whole game? Can they get comfortable? And that's going to take everybody. That's going to take the offensive line. That's going to take Cam moving the pocket. That's going to take Ridley doing what he can, another receiver stepping up. Like, it's going to have to be a full effort from this entire offense.
Oh, it's going to be a full team effort for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think it's possible, but can they scheme up the right plays, and can the people that are on the field make it happen? Because that's where we saw the disconnect last year. The play calling wasn't the best, but even when the play calling was good, receivers couldn't make a play. Will Levis would do something stupid. So can that kind of click early and then continue that consistency? That's really going to what set the tone for the whole year, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. We got to minimize mistakes. And I thought they did a really good job in the preseason. Let's see it in the regular season. let's get through a game of the regular season where we can say we had 0, maybe 1 or 2 procedural penalties. I'll be happy with 1 or 2. If we get 0,
Right.
I'll be freaking
Especially
ecstatic.
from not on special teams.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my
Yes.
God, I'm tired of special teams penalties too. I swear to God, every time last year we'd make a decent
Right.
return, it was because holding or
We need special teams to step up big Sunday.
Ugh. Who are you most excited to see on defense?
Me? I'm really excited to see Brownlee Jr. I'm excited to see how T-Sweat does, and I want to see how Cedric Gray commands that starting spot. Those are my 3 big things on defense I want to see.
I think that's valid. For me, it's easy. Quick answer is Sneed.
Yep.
I want to
100%.
see Sneed. I
Right.
pay that man. Well, I don't pay that man. I don't pay that man shit. But I do pay that man with the love that I give to the team, which in turn pays the man.
Right.
But yeah, we pay that man a lot of damn money, and it's
With
time to
Sneed,
start
it's
seeing
like-
something back on
Right.
that.
I just want him to do something. Just do something.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
see?
my thing. Like, I don't even know that I'm most excited to see Sneed. I'm just most
Right.
interested to see Sneed
Yes,
because
yes. It's
I mean,
not
this-
excitement. It's I want to see it.
it's
Right.
crazy that this team's success as a whole really comes down to how Sneed performs. But that, I mean,
Right.
I think that's a big part of it. I really
mean-
think that's a big part of it because if the defense can't get off the field because Sneed can't get in the game, the offense can't do what they need to do like that. The defense has to set the tempo in every single game because you have such a young offense. Like, you've
Yeah.
got to rely on this defense to
Yes.
set the tone early and often every single game. So,
Yeah.
yeah, for me, I'm most interested to see Sneed. I'm really interested to see Femi and how quick he can look comfortable. And then Cedric Gray, like Scoob
Right.
said, I think that's a big one. But look, I'll say this too. Cedric Gray's the starter. That's a given. It's been made obvious. This kind of feels like a James Williams game, though, because Cedric
Yeah.
Gray is kind of your coverage guy. He's going to have to set back. But when you need a pass rush, I like Williams in this situation. So I think you're going to see more. I think you're going to see more rotation this week than you may
think
see
a
in
healthy
week 2,
rotation.
week 3. I think
Right.
Cedric Gray's the obvious starter for the first quarter of the season, but I think we see a heavy rotation at linebacker this game.
And also
Yeah.
another thing I forgot about too is they were also talking about lining Big Jeff up at edge. So that's going to be interesting to see how
Yeah.
that looks too.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
that would-
I'm interested to see how they do the defensive line.
yeah.
One name that you guys are not saying, which I am surprised because I figured that would be one that everybody would be interested to see how he does in regular season as well as he's done in the preseason. Cody Barton. I am
Right.
Yeah.
extremely excited to see how he as good as advertised in training camp and preseason, or is he the Denver Broncos guy?
Man, he's proven himself to me that he can do everything. So
I think
he's
going to be fantastic, but
I'm expecting him to be good, so I'm not putting him on my list for that reason.
That's what I'm saying. Like, my expectation of Barton, it may be higher than it should, but he's just
Right.
not a concern to me until he becomes a concern. Like, it's one
Right.
of those guys, like, I want to hear your name a lot for tackles, obviously, but
yeah,
like, just don't screw up. I mean, just do what you've been doing, keep it consistent. But he just hasn't shown. It's not like I've seen flashes of him being really good or flashes of him being really bad. Like, he's just been consistent through the preseason.
Yeah,
if you
he's
can just
stayed, yeah,
continue to do
exactly.
that, like, I'm good. I'm fine with that. 100%.
I want the ball. Barton seems to be in preseason at least, or maybe just against Cam Ward, but he seems to be able to be a ball hawk,
Yeah.
and that is what we need. That was
He
the
is,
thing.
yeah.
Our turnover rate was, I think, if it wasn't last, I think it was 31st in the NFL. We were bottom of the barrel in turnover rate last year, and that is one thing we definitely have to change if we want to have any idea of being competitive
Yeah.
this year.
And
He's
that,
very
and honest,
intelligent for reading the field. That's for sure.
well, and I'll say this too, that goes back to another guy we haven't spent a lot of time on because we just have these standard expectations, Amani Hooker. Like,
Yeah.
you got to come out of the gates pretty early. Like, you need to
Huge.
be that Kevin Byard from 4 years ago, just the ball hawk who always finds himself in the right spot at the right time. Like, that's what we need him to become. And I'm also looking at Winston in this game,
I
a
was
guy
gonna
that
say,
we didn't get
especially
to
with a
see.
rookie right beside him.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to see him in the preseason because they wanted him ready for the regular season. Let's see how that pays off.
Right.
I mean, are you going to reap what you sowed in the preseason because you kept him out? He didn't get a lot of experience, but he was also considered NFL ready when he came in. So don't let that come back to bite you. Just be what we expect.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I believe if they can keep Bo Nix off of his spot and just, stay in his face, man, I think we got a chance on defense, I really do.
I think it's a pretty evenly matched team, except on defense. I think their defense is a lot more opportunistic, and their front seven are a little bit better than we are. If nothing else, for the rawness that we
Right.
have in our front seven, we're so young there. But let's
And
talk
it's a new
about
year.
score
That was
predictions.
last year, so maybe
Yeah,
guys are
well,
different
yeah.
this year.
There you go. I like that. I think we have made a huge jump, especially middle linebacker. But let's talk score predictions. I will
Who's
go
going
first
All right,
because,
then.
I was going to say it's rough. It's the first week of the season, and I will just go ahead and stick my neck out there. I hate to say this, folks. You know how much I hate to say this, but I think the Titans lose this one. Although I do think it is very close, and I think it is all the way down to the end. I think it literally in the last 30 minutes to a minute of the game, we're going to be in the game. It's just, I think we just fall a little bit short. I think it's 21-24. I even give us a pretty good score for the Titans, but the Denver, we just cannot overcome the elements and the inexperience that our Titans have right now.
I'll go next because I know we're going to end on some positivity after I go, but I'm kind of with you in the loss column there. Kind of with you in the loss column there. I think you see some good things on offense, but I think ultimately Denver's just too good on defense. Just being this early. Now, I mean, look, if this is week 5, maybe I see things differently, but I think they're just too experienced. They've got too many veterans. They're going to be ready to go. I think the elements is going to play a factor. Especially on these guys who have been out in training camp. I think L'Jarius Sneed, I hate to say it, but I think he struggles in this one. I think they find some opportunities in our secondary. And I think the offense, they show good things. They just ultimately can't get enough points on the board. For me, I've got it 24-13. I think it's a game that's very close at halftime. I would even go out on a limb and say the Titans lead maybe 10-7 at halftime. I just think that second half, the element, the conditioning is going to kind of set in a little bit, and Denver's defense, where they're so good, they lean on their skill to get to the quarterback, and I think they kind of find a way in the second half. So I got 24-13 Denver on this one.
Oh man, y'all are making All right. Well,
we said all right.
Man, the team is it's going to be an interesting game. I really do think, but I believe we are going to win the fourth quarter. I believe Cam Ward's going to step up in the fourth quarter, and we are going to pull it out on a nice 2-minute drive, and we are going to win 24-17.
Storybook.
Okay. I'm telling, especially for my bet to work.
Hey, yeah. I was going to say, you notice, and this is before we even talked about this, I already have my score prediction of 21-24, but then, Scoob said he needed 3 touchdowns.
Right.
Just happened to get just enough for that. So.
Man, I really think we're going to score some points this year, man. I really do. So, and I agree. It's week 1, and I'm a big firm believer in the second year slump for quarterbacks. So that's the only reason I'm picking them. I think we're going to go in there and sneak away with a little victory.
Fair enough.
I got a feeling.
I like it. Hey, I'm on board with it.
Let's
I
go.
promise I am. Heck yeah.
Let's
go.
I'm all
now,
for
next
it.
week is a different story, but this week.
Let's get into that.
I'm gonna go for it.
We got some time, a little bit of time left. Let's get into that. First game of the season, just to get it out of the way now before anything else happens, any wins or losses are put in the columns. Let's just do real quick rundown at full season prediction, where we think we stand week 17, 18.
Okay. Who's going first?
Hit it, Scoob. You went last. Now you go first.
For the Rams game?
For
Is that what
the
we're
whole
picking?
season.
Record
Whole
season.
Oh,
season.
you want me to just give a
Just
full
record.
Okay,
whole season.
I got
What you got?
All right. So I'm going to be a little optimistic, and I'm going to say that we are going to win 8 games.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going for 8 games.
Not a bad season. 8-9,
Yeah.
right under 500. I like it.
Yeah.
Max, what you got?
I have to agree with him. I was literally
Oh, wow.
sitting here thinking, because I don't think we're going to hit 500. And I'll be honest with you, 6 just seems low. I mean, it seems attainable. Don't get me wrong, but it just seems a little low. I think we're going to be just slightly better than people think we are this year. I think we're going to have a couple surprise games, and for some
I do
reason,
too.
I don't know. I think Scoob, I think you're right. I think it's going to be 8 and 9.
I think 8 games. And you know what's crazy? That record could win the division.
Is that a good thing or a bad?
Yeah.
I'm
it
just
could.
saying.
It could. It definitely
Because
could.
I think Houston's going to struggle this year. I really do. They're
I
probably going
agree.
to win the division, but I can see them struggling this year.
I agree.
I mean, I can see, again, like we talked about this before, I think Tennessee's third. Like, I could see Jacksonville pulling it. Like, it's kind of open season. It really is. I'm telling you. Unfortunately, I'm at that mark that Max thought a little was too low. I'm at 6-11. I just think for me, and look, that's not a bad thing. You won 3 games last year.
Right.
Like, if you're 6-11 and you see good things out of the offense, you go into next season saying, we know Cam's the guy. We're ready to see how big of a jump he makes. Like, I'm okay with that. It's not great. I'm not, out in the street celebrating. But if you can go 6-11 and show me concept and say, I'm comfortable with my quarterback, I'm comfortable with my head coach, I'm comfortable in the direction that this team is heading, I can sleep at night, if that makes sense. So I hope I'm wrong, but 6-11 is kind of where I put the floor of this thing.
That's all right, man. I mean, it's all right. It's good. It's good to. Well, no, it's good to have low expectations, especially with a team that was last in the NFL last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Honest.
Right.
Last year win total was 6.5 with Vegas, and I was like, I think it was 5.5, and I'm like, look, there is no way. This is free money. Titans 6-game minimum. Like, there's absolutely no way. There we set it 3-14, first overall draft pick. So I'd rather just put the end. Look, I say that's the floor. The worst things could happen. Like, we could see Callahan walking out the door week 5. I mean, that's a possibility. So worse things can happen. But 6-11, that's where I'm kind of comfortable.
All right.
All
right.
My expectations for the team doesn't really, for me this year, record doesn't matter for me. I'm more just want to see the team get better every week.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm looking for. It's a first year of a rebuild, and that's what the record really, unless we're like 3 wins, then yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
if we're last,
me,
we're last in the NFL.
The record is like 4th on the list for me.
I'm with that.
I agree with that. I agree with that. There are 2 major things I'm looking for this season, and that's Cam's development and play calling.
Yep.
Those 2 things have to be better than they were
100%.
last year, because Levis's development, I don't know if he did develop. He might have undeveloped.
He did. He regressed.
He cracked.
Yeah, 100%. He literally, and and I know we're cutting it close. That's the problem I have with Callahan. Show me different. That's the story of this season, is development and progression. Because I don't want to see another, and look, Levis is a totally different story, but I don't want to see another quarterback come in and look worse than he did as the season goes on. Like that right there is, I'm out on this coaching staff. So show me proof of concept, show me development.
I agree, guys.
I agree.
Any quick last thoughts before we wrap this beautiful first preseason or preview show up?
Cam Ward effect. Titans are 1-0.
All right, man. I'm here for it. I love it. Let's see it. Let's go. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight, especially on the first.
Thank you.
On the first football game of the year, you guys are tuning in with us, and we very much appreciate it. Thank you for getting in the comments and talking to us and being a part of the show with us, because we do it for you. I actually pay money to do this podcast, so obviously not doing it for any other reason than the fact that we like doing it, and, there you go. But anyway, again, thank you guys. Till next week, tighten up.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.
Peace out.